Nothing like the lug nut being on backwards. So, doing the CV axle on this mini truck. So 19 mils, take the tire off. Really? Alright. Move the tire. Now, take these bolts off the back here. I believe those are not that size. 17 mils. Alright, so come behind, move your 17s. You can get your hand in there, there we go. And the lower. Alright, so now those are out, that brake will come out. Let's get a zip tie for that. So, zip tie up here, so when we pull this off, we can hang it on that zip tie so we don't kink the brake hose. So simply do that. See if I can do this one-handed. It's usually quite a pain in the butt to do one-handed. That's up and out of the way. Brake pad with the other parts. Okay, now gotta knock this divot out, that axle nut come off, and then we're gonna drill these because we spent a whole bunch of time on the other side trying to get these out. So just drill these out. So once this is drilled out, they should look like so. And just a couple taps and she's good. Oh, also, rubber mallet for taps, not metal. Next up, we're gonna wanna remove this rusty cotter pin. I like to get them straight and then wiggle them in. As you push it into the hole. And I'm trying to get this one through without having to go get my pliers. Nope, pliers. Alright, grab your pliers. Grab your cotter pin. wiggle it on through till that's out. Then you got a 17 mil on the top there. Okay. Get that nut out. So now I'm going to flip the castle nut upside down and put it back on and tighten it down till it's flush with the bolt, because I want to protect the threads. So once that's flush, like so, use a couple more spins. Perfect, like so. And you're gonna want to get a hammer and just give it a good whack without hitting that. Give it a couple love taps there to loosen it up. And then we're just gonna tap it from the top. So drop down, so now take the nut off. The 17, wherever that just went off to. Take that off. So now these are two 14s. You want to pull these up top. There are nuts on the back, so wrench up here, impact on the back end. And then we're going to take the bolt out of the lower ball joint, which is also 14 on here, and then 14 wrench on the other side. Lastly, tap a pickle fork into the lower ball joint to separate it. And once it's all the way in, give it a little bit of a wiggle. Pops that off. You can now pull these two apart. Okay. Now with these two apart, pry this back. I like to hammer a busted screwdriver or get something in there to pry it. So now just hammer that in while kind of bending it outward to get that notch out so we can loosen that nut. Once it's pried back, and then simply give this little pull towards you as you push the axle through, and it'll pop out the back. As you can see, you have more than enough movement to pull this forward, slip that out the back, and then you go underneath to disconnect the CV shaft. So to disconnect the shaft, what I like to do is use a hammer like this that's got a little bit of a lip on it. Get it in there, and get a rubber mallet. And then once it's in, just pry it back. That's it. So now reinstall is exact same order, so just nip that shaft in the hole, make sure the splines are lined up, pop it into place like so. That's in. And then you want to come out here, take this nut off. And then again, we're going to pry this whole unit back to get that lined up. Make sure your splines are lined up and all that stuff's out of the way. And they are, because it's going right through. Okay. Then we're going to get this lower ball joint back on. I'll take a couple taps from underneath. And then that'll go right into place. The easiest way to get this now is a jack to just pick this up and seat that. Alright, so once your jack is in place, just simply go up, and that's it. Put your bolt back in. So you come over here, 14 mil. Okay, over this side, put your nut on there. And then grab your 14 wrench and your impact. Alright, and then drop your jack and get that out of the way. So then you're gonna come over here, you're gonna push this down while grabbing the back like so. And what that's gonna do is allow you to get this in place down here to where you can grab these two nuts. And then once they're grabbed, you can push down just to seat it all the way, or at least as far as they'll go. And then again, 14 mil wrench, impact on the bottom, which will look like this. And then the other side as well. Then we're going to want to manually steer that way, bringing this one back up into its spot, and then grab your casting nut, start that on there. There we go. Sometimes we just should be a little patient. And then put that in place. And we're gonna have to go get another cotter pin for that because the other one is destroyed. All right, now place the cotter pin in its spot and bend the tab back. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna put our axle nut back on here. So start that nice and nice. Good movement. This wheel bearing is not like the other one and it's not shot. Alright, so now we just gotta dent that tab. So the best way to do that is going to be to put this punch right here and then give it a whack with a hammer, like so. that one felt good. All right. Perfect. Now, the brake. So we're gonna reinstall the pads, but yeah, again, this is why you have the mechanic do the diag and you don't, because this needs to come back for brakes and wheel bearings. But anyway, so cut this off, place this back. Like that. Make sure your top pad is in its spot, and then reinstall, I'm sorry, inner versus outer pads here, top and bottom. If and when those decide they want to go back in their spot. Which, boy oh boy, is this one fighting me. Use a little bit of leverage on the pliers to seat them. And then you want to get your rotor. That's it. And then to make your life a little easier, just grab one of the lug nuts. Because we had to drill out the retaining bolt. And just seat that on there so it holds the rotor while we reinstall it. So tap that in place. Bolts for the back. Get them on. Here. There we go. Just had to push it in at the same time. And those, I believe, are 17s. That up. Bottom. Okay. Switch this out for the 19. Straighten that up. Grab your tire. just changed the CV axles on a mini truck. Now with the CVs done in this mini truck, it's time to jump over to this mini truck. Right, Freya? Man, she looks stoked.